Well, it's a rainy day outside today in Australia, but just like British weather. So I thought I'd do a bit of a walk around on this restored, or my restored RD350LC. Now there's a lot of YouTube clips online about RD250, 350LC bikes running, but very few detailed walk around. So I thought that that's what I'd do on this no riding day today. So, bit of a story. So about 40 years ago, on my 17th birthday in the UK, I had a brand new 250LC. I remember it like it was yesterday. Eventually getting upgraded to a 350 like we did in those days. Great days, great fun. 4 or 5 years of great fun. Fast forward 40 years, and this project was about resurrecting this one owner 350LC into Australia in 1982. One owner. It was basically complete, but hadn't run for about 10 years. So the job's been to restore it to be as stock as possible. There's a lot of great LCs out there that have been, race prepared, or when I had expansion chambers on mine when I was growing up, but I wanted this to be stock, to be kind of loyal or honest to the way the bike originally would have looked. So that's what we've tried to keep to. So apologies for the longer video than normal, but for anyone rebuilding an LC from scratch or restoring one, I wanted to give you some insight into things that we've learned. So that's a bit of background. Let's do a bit of a walk around. Perhaps start with the clocks up here. So the clocks are stock. I suspect the tacho might have been replaced at some point because the needle is a lot darker than the speedo needle. I've got to say I love the what I would call patina on the 10th of the kilometre marking. See the 0.7 there. See the lovely patina there. It's just makes it look really authentic as opposed to having brand new clocks. The switchgear is new. Handlebars were repainted, but the switchgear is new. Perhaps let's start around the front here. What I'll try and do, I'll try and call out any differences between my original 1980 bike and this 1982 bike. So the rims were original, discs original, calipers original, forks were hard re-chromed, original front mudguard, very hard to get these days, obviously repainted, new brake lines, not much else to say there. New wheel bearings, fairly recently, had to get those in from the UK. You can tell from accents I'm from the UK, but living in Australia right now. So not much else to say on the front end. New fork seals, genuine Yamaha fork seals, and oil. So basically the whole front end is genuine. That's a new headlamp cowling, but the indicators are original. Original wiring loom, which was a great thing to retain. New radiator cover, but the radiator itself is original. You can probably see some wear marks in there. Oil pump in there is original. I'm actually waiting for a new cable, oil pump cable to come from the UK. I've got to refit that and do some adjustments. Cylinders rebored out, pistons are 1mm oversized, so we did have a rebore in there. Original carbs, they've been vapor blasted. New sliders, new jets, and new float bowls. On the original bike, you probably would know that these were hexagonal bolts. Don't look too good, get chewed up very quickly. So, although this is not stock, I prefer these Allen key type bolts. The frame was repainted in as close to possible as as original, but to be honest, I don't know whether the original frame would have been powder coated. I suspect, 81, 82, probably not. But anyway, the color is very, very close to original frame paint, but it is powder coated. Exhaust pipes are original, which is difficult to find these days. The stand is original but repainted. Rear brake is original, repainted. On my original 1980 bike, the swinging arm didn't have the lubrication point. That came out in 81, 82. I'm sure comments will correct me there. Also, these carbs have a code on. I think it's that code, or is it that code? I forget which one it is. There's a date stamp there or a code which tells you, are these the 80 or 81 carbs. Likewise, the original 1980 bikes didn't have a drain plug on the forks. This does. The other major difference on my 1980 bike, as almost all the first bikes had problems with the exhaust pipes coming loose and cracking around the head here. You can see this bike is stone cold. That was fixed through 3 or 4, I think 2 or 3 revisions. The first one being the strength, and I don't know if you can see in the video there, this reinforced section here. And the thing that really did the fix was these tie bars. The tie bars here. Now I've got a personal opinion about this, and it's only my personal opinion that on the original bikes without the tie bars, the engine was obviously free to vibrate slightly and not pass that vibration through the frame. Unfortunately, we're passing through the exhaust pipes, leading to that loosening and cracking. So whilst the tie bars eliminate the engine vibration affecting the exhaust pipes, in my opinion, those tie bars do then transmit some engine vibration directly to the frame, and you do feel that, I think, as opposed to the 1980 bikes. Small thing, it's my personal opinion, so just sort of pass that on for what it's worth. Footrests, original, just cleaned up. The rear footrest, original, nice and shiny. The footrest brackets, they're so iconic. You can tell. It's to be fair, this bike is almost concours condition. I wouldn't say it is concours condition, but it's close to. Things like that pitting would, not that I would ever show this bike, but you know, it's not perfect. That's not a brand new bracket. You can tell it's been cleaned up, but that's fine with me. Nice touch. The original pipes had the 4LO stamp on them, which if you get the pipes repainted, you sometimes lose. Well, you typically will lose if you get them ceramic coated. You lose that stamping typically. You can see how clean the swinging arm is. Just that was all repainted. Obviously, I do ride this bike, so it's not absolutely super duper clean, but that sticker's not needed, but I think it looks kind of cool. This was re-chromed. These adjusters were re-chromed. The castle head nuts were re-chromed, as was the spacer. But it's all stock baffles. New Roadrunner tyres. You can see how clean it is up there. I might come back to swinging up the swinging arm in a moment. Indicators, original. Let's talk about around here. New chain, new sprockets. I did have a mega problem with this spacer. So when this bike got rebuilt, it had the wrong spacer in there, about 2 mil too big. So I spent about an hour trying to get it back wheeling one day, realised I had the wrong spacer. Long story short, a month later, a new one arrived from the UK. Also, the large centre spacer in the void, in the middle of the rim. It's about this big. That was missing for some reason, so had to get a new one of those made. They're quite hard to find, so I got a new one of those actually made. It's just to stop the wheel bearings folding in on themselves, to keep them in place and stop them coming inwards. Okay, rear chain guard, they're hard to come by. This is original, just repainted. New sticker, obviously. What else on this side? Gear change lever, that's original, just cleaned up. I did have a challenge with this circlip. The washer I was originally using inside here was slightly too big. Sorry, that washer there, which meant this circlip was there was a tad too much friction on this circlip, and down the freeway one day, changing gear, the whole gear change pops off because that circlip broke. So the remedy was to get the correct size shim or washer on the inside, gives the correct amount of play, and that is now rock solid. Just a bit of a story about my original 250LC. When I was 17, my chain came off and wrapped itself around the front sprocket. Not an uncommon problem I've since heard, and again, long story short, the chain wraps itself around the front sprocket, splits the lower part of the crankcase. And I think everything I learned about two-strokes during that period was down to me having to take the engine out. I split the top half, bottom half of the crankcase myself with a friend, got the bottom half of the crankcase welded, or that crack welded closed, and then put the 350 top end on, and all was good. But I think the takeaway is, anyone buying one of these bikes, if you can get access to that front sprocket, just have a look around for, number one, wear, but also excuse me, also any evidence of any weld marks around the circumference of the lower engine case by that front sprocket, because that's where mine split. Original petcock. I've got to say, the paint work on this tank, in fact the whole body set, is just fantastic. You probably can't tell on video, but the closeness to the original colour, in my opinion, is smack on. And it's just a wonderfully rich original colour. What else can I say? Down here, not much really. It is pretty much all original. The front end we spoke about. I might just pop off these side covers here just to give you a sense of so new battery, new Fletcher relay. I love this as fuse cover. It's very original looking, and if we pop the cover off here, I love the spare fuse, because you never know when you might need that. I might also pop the seat off, so just let me jump up here. Not easy one-handed. Okay, so I mentioned the original loom. Wiring's all in pretty good shape. Really nice touch here. This is just a bit of an artistic touch. This is a 5 shilling piece drilled in the middle just to act as like a washer. Definitely not stock, but adds a bit of character to the bike. It does have a toolkit. I don't know if that's the original toolkit, but it does have one in there, and some spare spark plugs. That's a new sticker, but this is original. The original rear mudguard. I'll just pop this side cover as well. I guess while I'm at it, I might as well share my oil pump story. So this cable, last job I've got to do, I think, is this cable needs replacing. So the oil pump's it's not adjusted correctly. I can't adjust it because of this. I need some new shims in the oil pump for the minimum stroke. But I've also been testing it with premix. So it runs beautifully on premix. So disconnecting the oil pump Running on premix, runs absolutely beautifully. But with the fuel pump connected, it's running a bit rich. So probably the last job I've got to do before I work out when I'm going to sell it or keep it. But you can tell all this is just beautifully original. Just the bungs obviously got replaced, but otherwise it's just gorgeous. All right, as I said, this is absolutely stone cold. So I might just give it a quick start. Bearing in mind it's running a bit rich still, but let's listen to that beautiful two-stroke sound. So I can see it's running a bit rich there, but if I say to you coffee, cigarettes, and two-stroke smoke, you're probably from the same era I'm from. That smell is just gorgeous. A bit too much smell, to be honest, but again, I'm running that oil pump, which needs just needs some final adjustments. What can I say? That the two-stroke sound, I think, is one of the most purest, beautiful motorbike sounds in the world. I do also have a Z1, and that's got a whole different sound, but in the 250-350 kind of category, that sound is just evokes so many memories. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video walk around. If you've got any questions, post them to me. I'll try and answer them, and I hope you appreciate this just gorgeous piece of 1980s two-stroke nostalgia. And I tell you what, it's such fun to ride. I've got a BMW over there, I've got a Z1, but for flickability, for lightweightness, for popping wheelies in second gear, it's just a beautiful thing.